Danny Green versus Antonio Tarver. This was an awesome fight. I didn't do a prediction video for this one. Kind of busy. I completely forgot that these guys were even going to fight. But of course, in my prediction, if I was going to predict who would win the fight, I would have went with Danny Green in this fight. Honestly, gotta keep it real. I would have went with Danny Green to win this one. Just being honest with y'all. But of course, I got to check the fight out. And first of all, I want to say, awesome fight for the sport of boxing. Awesome. Definitely, fights like this just make the sport more popular. This was a boxing match, a fight that you yearn for, that you desire, that you want to see when you turn on the TV to watch a boxing match. The action was good. The work rate from the boxers as far as throwing punches was good. It was just a damn good fight. Damn good fight and well fought on behalf of both guys. Tarver fought a good fight and Danny Green. In this fight, I first got to start off with Tarver by saying shout out to Tarver for not throwing more punches than he needed to. Shout out to Tarver for pretty much keeping his punches within a certain limit. And when he did throw, he threw accurate shots, worked off the jab, and threw accurate power shots. And used the jab to set up Danny Green. And that's how you use a jab. You use a jab to gain points. Some boxers use it to gain points and connect and damage people and damage the other opponent, whether it be damage the eyes or whatnot, and to rack up points. Also, the jab can be used to set up other punches and set up your opponent. And Tarver did an excellent job of doing that in this fight. There was times that he just used it to gain points and just to throw it out there to connect with his opponent's face and gain points. He also used it to set up the opponent for other punches. He did a brilliant job of that during this fight. This is the first time I've seen Tarver really display boxing fundamentals. He didn't throw any loopy, crazy punches. Some punches within this fight were wild, loose, and loopy, but it was maybe 2 or 3. You can count, you know. Whereas normally, in the past, when you watch Tarver, he would throw a lot of loopy, weak, ineffective punches. He would throw bad punches instead of being disciplined and throwing smart, accurate, good punches. So I noticed that about Tarver in the past, but in this fight, he didn't really have that problem. Like I said, you can count the crazy punches that he threw. When Danny Green would be on the ropes and he would trying to knock Danny Green out. He would throw a loopy wild punch. Instead of coming in with a good, straight, accurate punch, he would throw something loopy and wild and totally miss the guy because Danny can see the damn punch coming from a year away because it was all wide and loopy, which is a boxing fundamental no-no. You don't throw punches like that. But in this fight, all in all, Tarver, smart with his punches. When he did let those hands go, it was power shots, worked behind the jab, also allowed his jab to set up Danny Green for other punches. So shout out to Tarver for being smart and not wasting his energy and wasting punches like he has in the past. Danny Green, in my opinion, was just, I can't say he was old in this fight. The best way to describe it was just that he was out of his league. Tarver's not a better boxer than Danny Green as far as fundamentals and style and whatnot. Danny Green is an awesome fighter, great boxer, awesome for the sport of boxing. One of those guys who is old in age and still doing it. Danny Green's an awesome fighter. I'm a fan of Danny Green. I like him. Game fighter, good fundamentals, good boxing skills, good boxer. But I feel that Tarver was just a stronger fighter. And the punches that Tarver would land, I think, took a lot out of Danny Green. Him having to move around the ring, him having to defense, him having to do offense, him having to throw punches, and him having to defend himself, I think really wore him out. And add on to that, the punching power of Tarver. And Antonio Tarver's reach was also a big problem for Danny Green throughout the fight. Antonio Tarver's reach was just a nightmare for Green all fight. Pretty much allowed him to keep that safe distance between him and Green, where Green couldn't be effective. But at the same time, because of Tarver's reach, it allowed Tarver to be extremely effective in landing his punches and connecting his punches at a distance. Also, when Danny Green would try to step in and hit Tarver, Tarver just leaned back or hop step back real quick, and then hop step back forward, and then continue to throw his punches and pretty much picking them apart from the outside until Tarver being accurate, landing power punches, and those power punches just an accumulation of power punches just pretty much Danny couldn't handle it at the end of the day, especially towards the end of the fight. And Tarver did an excellent job of keeping his distance when he fought Danny. All during the fight, he kept a great distance between him and Danny Green, which made it harder for Danny Green because he couldn't get close enough to connect punches. And when he did throw, Tarver would just step back, move out the way. It should be easy for him to keep distance between him and his opponent. And he did that all during the whole fight. He knocked Danny Green out late in the fight. Pretty much not knocked him out, but he dazed the heck out of him with a flurry of punches. During the fight, as the fight was going on, he landed many big punches. Didn't daze Danny, but pretty sure they hurt. In this fight, Danny Green just seemed overwhelmed, in my opinion, by the power of Tarver. That's what I noticed when I was watching the fight. Danny Green, as far as his punches and combinations, when he let his hands go, was not nearly as effective as Tarver was towards Danny Green. He just wasn't. His punches didn't do much to Tarver. Danny Green's punches. Not that he's not a powerful fighter. He is, but I just feel that Tarver was a little bit naturally bigger, and I felt Tarver was just a stronger, more powerful fighter. All in all, though, this was a very good fight. This was good for the sport of boxing. It's what you want to see when you watch a fight. Mad props to Danny Green and Antonio Tarver. This was a great fight. I was shocked at how good this fight was. I thought when I tuned into this fight, knowing how Tarver fought in the past, I could have swore that Danny Green was going to beat this guy. Because I think Danny Green is a more seasoned, skilled, disciplined, boxing, well-rounded, and a fundamentally sound boxer than Antonio Tarver. You know, he throws punches accurately, throws punches when he needs to, throws combinations correctly and when he needs to. Whereas in the past, as I said, Tarver has been a little sloppy with his punches and his combinations and throwing punches that have no power or no effect on him at all. So fundamentally, I wasn't too big on Tarver as far as his boxing fundamentals. So that's why I picked Danny Green to beat Tarver. But come to find out, Antonio Tarver in this fight was able to beat Danny Green. And in this fight, Antonio Tarver was accurate, precise with his punches. He showed good boxing fundamentals. He didn't waste any punches. He didn't throw any punches that were ineffective. He threw every punch was an effective, accurate, straight, stiff, accurate punch, which is a good thing for Tarver. So he didn't waste any of his punches or any of his energy. And that's why I think mainly he won the fight. Bigger, more powerful puncher, Antonio Tarver, and worked behind that jab, used that jab wisely. I feel strong, and that's what gave him the win over Danny Green. And Danny Green looked tired as hell late in the fight when Antonio Tarver threw all them punches and threw those flurry punches and kind of dazed him. Danny Green was just out of it, man. Almost passed out on his feet. I think the accumulation of punches, the power puncher effect, and the fatigue factor, I think was too much for Danny Green. And he looked like he was about to pass out, but then they stopped the fight. Shout out to Danny Green, though. You're an awesome fighter, man. One of the guys that's up in age but still doing it. You look great for your age. You look like you're about 26, 27, man. 26, 27 years old. You know, Danny Green, Bernard Hopkins, all these guys that are up in age are still doing it, and they look awesome. Shout out to you guys. Antonio Tarver versus Danny Green. This was an awesome fight for boxing. Damn good fight, man. And congratulations to Antonio Tarver. This was a good fight. Thanks for watching.